This is Sarajevo evening. I reached here late afternoon and after rest I decided to make this small clip. I'm staying in a block of flat, hired this private apartment on the 12th floor. You can see in the distance Sarajevo city. Okay, you did work with Pakistani units while you were in the war, serving as a Bosnian officer, army officer. But you heard good stories how Pakistani army officers helped to survive the local Bosnians people here.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know directly what happened, but of course it was always positive feedback. Definitely,
Okay.
there is no doubt about it.
I'm glad to hear this of your experience during the war.
Exactly.
Damir, it's really lovely to be with you, and I'm recording it just for my own records, to share with my friends in Pakistan and wherever they are. So your experience during the war has been really enlightening us that what's happened here back in early 90s till 1995.
90s, exactly.
Yeah, till the Dayton Accord came into force.
But thanks God, it's finished.
Yeah. I'm glad. Thank you very much for giving us your time.
Sure. To the Pope.
He came here during the war, during the
93 or 94.
94.
I'm not quite sure.
Pope Paul.
Oh, yes, correct. And one of the famous popes in Sarajevo.
Yeah, well respected among Christians as well.
Of course, very much.
This is the gallery of the civil war of Bosnia when Yugoslavia fell apart. This is how it was. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the background you can see the Pula Islamic Center, and I've been staying here for a couple of weeks. During my stay I traveled across the Adriatic Sea as well, Adriatic coast. I visited various islands and Adriatic coastal cities which were once ruled and dominated by the Roman Empire. After that I turned towards Bosnia from Split, historical city of Split. I entered Bosnia. My first stop was Mostar city, which was a medieval city, and Muslims arrived in that part of the world middle of 15th century, and I ended up on last Thursday in Sarajevo, Thursday evening. After a while, a little stop at my residence there in Sarajevo. I traveled downtown to explore the city of Sarajevo. I was visiting previously Sarajevo back in middle 80s when I was visiting Yugoslavia for business purposes. But now the recent experience is very strange and thrilling for me. I would like to share with my followers, with my supporters who watch my clips. I wanted to pray my Salatul Masjid. Salatul Masjid, the 2 rakat nawafil that every Muslim should pray when they enter any mosque. So I had a niyyah, I had an intention to do that. So I ended up in a Qazi Yusraf Beg Mosque. I asked my wife to wait for me within the compound of the mosque, and I went to the ablution. And while I was doing my ablution, after finishing it, I saw a gentleman standing across the area, and I asked him in a normal way that please tell me when is the Friday Salah time in this mosque of Qazi Yusraf Beg. He looked at me and he said, yes, it's about 1 o'clock. You can come 1:45 and you can easily pray here. There is a crowd, but not too much crowded is here. But anyhow, after that, as we walked together outside the ablution room, he asked me where I am from. I said I'm from Pakistan, but living in London. Living in London. And he said, okay, nice to meet you. After your prayer, can we meet here again, and I will take you for a cup of tea. I said, okay, thank you very much. So we prayed. I prayed my Nawafil. He prayed his Isha Ghalban. And then after that, we met again. In the meantime, my wife has walked in among us, and I introduced my wife to him, and we start talking. After a little conversation, he again asked me, have you had your dinner? I said, yes, we have come down in the center to find some food and some dinner as well. He said, okay, no, I will invite you for a dinner. So here we are, total stranger, not even know his name yet. He's inviting us for tea and then dinner on top. Anyhow, as we walked along, I asked him his name. He said his name is Mustafa. I said, what's so kind about us? Why are you inviting us? He said, well, I wanted to thank you guys because you're from Pakistan, and Pakistan supported us during our struggle for independence when Yugoslavia fell apart. I said, how did this happen? I said, well, Pakistan Army was here, stationed, supporting our elders in the society, young children, ill people, and they had a medical camp here. And I used to attend that camp, and I was working very closely with Pakistani Army personnel here. So I wanted you to thank, and this is my invitation to you as a thanking gesture, thankful gesture to you. Of course, we all, my wife and myself said, yes, we were praying for survival of the Bosnian Muslims in Bosnia, in Sarajevo especially, when the Serb Bosnians and other Yugoslav army was thumbing down with bombs and mortars down in the center of Sarajevo. That was a good experience for us to meet Mustafa. Mustafa then took us to a restaurant. We had a lovely dinner, Bosnian kebabs, and then we walked into a sarai called Qazi Yusuf Beg Sarai. And during the conversation, Mustafa also asked me, what do you think the Turkish did when they conquered Bosnian area, this Bosnian area, Sarajevo? What did they do here, the first thing? I said, I have no idea, you can educate me. He said, the first thing Qazi Yusuf Beg, who arrived here, did was to make the toilets, public toilets, because there were no public toilets here, and he wanted to make the masjid and the madrasa beside it. So before doing that, he wanted to make the people clean, understand the basic meanings of Islam, and therefore he first constructed public toilets for people to keep clean and keep the city clean as well. So obviously that was a very big experience for us, and we thoroughly enjoyed being with Mustafa Lalic, who has now become a friend of ours. He is with me on Facebook as well as on WhatsApp group. So I welcome him. I welcome his gesture. I really enjoyed my stay of few days in Sarajevo and seeing the surrounds of Sarajevo as well. I hope you like my narration of this experience, and thank you for supporting me. Allah Hafiz.